So I just want to go over the agenda really quickly before we get into it so everyone has a clear idea of what we're doing as I'm explaining it. So we're going to be working on our annotated bibliography. So if you go to, let me just make sure, studio hour plans, May, and then today's date is the 20th. So you've just hit May 20th. You'll see this page. The video would be right here. And you could just click on to refer back to how to do something. So then if you scroll down, it prompts you to use Microsoft Word. Unfortunately, I don't have Microsoft Word, but I use Google Docs and it's always been working for me. But if you do have Microsoft Word and you would like to use that instead, my directions on how to input these formats will be a little different since I am using Google Docs, but I do have a video for specifically for Microsoft Word. So I'll link that here as well. So you'll have both videos to refer to. So one with Google Doc and then one with Microsoft Word, if that's okay with everyone. So then we're just going to be formatting our pages. We're going to make sure all our margins are 1 inch on all sides, which is basically, it should say default. And then our font will be Times New Roman 12 point, and that's the standard. It will be double spaced. And then each paragraph will be indented a 1/2 inch of so like the first line of each paragraph indented 1/2 inch. There's also a thing in Microsoft Word when you want to indent 1/2 inch, it's called hanging. I'm not sure if they have it on Google Docs because I've never used that feature, but yeah, so that's what it's called in Microsoft Word. It's called hanging. Also, we're going to be exploring headers, and we're going to be creating our header with our student name and date. We'll have page number and the footer. So I'll show you how to do all of that with Google Docs. Again, I will have a video from Microsoft Word linked on this ePortfolio page. So now we're going to be writing our format, just writing our title, annotated bibliography, cultural competency, and your major. So it'll be like cultural competency and nursing, for example. And then we're going to save the document, and then we're going to go about our assignment. So now, first, I just want to stop for the agenda really quickly, and I want to get started, and I'll explain more about the assignment as we're going on. So if you open your email, I actually sent a random article to myself, so it should look like this for you too. Maybe if you're using a different email, it might look different, but I am using Gmail. So if you scroll down and if you see persistent link to this record, it says permalink, this is the link to the article. So this is my first article that I sent to myself. Below it, there is another article too. So if you did send 2 articles, it might be in the same email. You just need to scroll down. So I'm just gonna hit this little link. It's gonna ask me to sign in. My information is already there. I'm just gonna hit sign in. And now we're back to the page that we originally were at when we sent the email to ourselves. So the first thing you want to do is create a citation. So how do you create the citation? You don't need to go on like, what is it, EasyBib or Citation Machine for this, because actually this website does it for you. So all you have to go to is the tools on the right hand side and hit cite. Once you hit cite, you'll see the citation format like box come up. So it has all the citations for you. It has like MLA and other formats, but unfortunately we're using only APA. So if you scroll to APA, you'll see it. All you have to do is just highlight where it says, where it has references, just go under where you see the author's name, just highlight all of it and then just copy. Once you copy it, you'll be going to your doc and having it here. But first, before we paste it, we want to format our page. So if you go back to the agenda, we'll do our margins, our font, make sure it's double spaced, first line, and then running header. So let's do our margins first. Our margins would be under page setup. So if you go to file and go to page setup, you'll see all the margins are at 1. This is fine. This is regular. It's on portrait, not landscape. Perfect. So we just hit OK. So our margins are completed. And now we have to go to the font, make sure it's Times New Roman 12. So now it's in Arial. So we'll just change it to Times New Roman and change the font point to 12. And now spacing is double spaced. How to do double spaced? If you look at these 3 lines, it's called line spacing. So, and it has like an arrow going up and down. It's on 1.15 right now. We're just gonna hit double. And then after we did the double space, first line should be indented. Okay, we're gonna skip that for now since I didn't paste it yet, but I wanna do the running header and the page footer really quickly. So all you have to do for the running header, right, all you have to go to insert and you'll see headers and footers, and I'm just gonna hit on header. So this will open up the header. So it has student name and date. So I'm just gonna put, so Arial, it's on Arial. I'm just gonna change it to Times New Roman because I just like everything in one font. So I'm gonna put my name and then put the date. So May 2020. So that's my header. So if you click out of it, that's my header, and to edit it, you're gonna have to like double click or something, but that's how it's gonna look. And now we're gonna do our footer. So then we'll go back to insert and then go to headers and footers and go to footer. We're gonna be doing page numbers. So I think there's like a thing to do page number. Yeah, so if you go to page numbers, so insert page numbers right here, right under header and footer. So you don't have to like technically go to footers, but if you have an option to go to page numbers, that's fine. And it asks you the position we want it in our footer. We're gonna start at 1, and then we're gonna make sure it shows on our first page. So we're gonna hit apply, and now it's here in the bottom right corner. So if I click out, you'll see the 1 right here. That's perfect. So I'm just going to give you a minute if you are doing what I'm doing right now. I'm just going to give you a minute for you to catch up. So then again, just go back to the ePortfolio, make sure, I do have it displayed here so you don't have to keep clicking back and forth, and just make sure all of these things are checked off. Just make sure you skip each line is indented 1/2 inch for right now. Just make sure your page is formatted. Okay, so for the link in the email, you should have sent your articles to yourself when you looked for the articles last week. So it would be just remember last week we had the library session, how to look for sources using the database, the LaGuardia database. So you would email it to yourself, so it would be on your part. Okay, so I'm just gonna continue with the lesson, and if you do need any more any more time, the video is going to be always here, so you could just look back at it. Okay, so now we already copied our citation from the website. So all we have to do, oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm missing a step. See, this is why we always follow the agenda. So now we're gonna write the title. So it's annotated bibliography, cultural competency, and your major. So I'm just gonna copy this. Actually, no, I'm gonna type it out so it's the same font. So I'm just gonna hit enter. Annotated bibliography. And then it says, I think, cultural competency. And your major. So I'm just going to hit nursing for this example because all of my articles are nursing. So the title will be annotated bibliography, cultural competency, and your major. So I'm just going to go back here. I'm going to highlight everything. I'm going to make it bold so we know it's the title, and I'm going to move it to the center. And now I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to go back to make sure it's all the way, and my cursor is all, not my cursor, my cursor, I guess. The type line will be at the left. So now I'm going to go in and paste my my citation. So I'm just going to go back, make sure I copy it, and then paste it. So this is my citation, how it is, how I copied it. So now we're just going to format it. So we're going to highlight it, make sure it's Times New Roman and 12 point. I'm going to unbold it. Also, if you notice that there is like a light highlight following the text, just because it was on the website, we're just going to hit highlight color and we're going to select none. So this is how it's going to look. Again, with the indentation, we're just going to make sure it's 1/2 inch. I'm just going to hit tab because I think it just defaults with the tab. I think I'm doing it wrong. 1 second, let me just check. There is also an example. Okay, so yeah. So there's an example below. Just one thing with this example, it is not double spaced, it's only single spaced. So just keep that in mind, make sure it's all double spaced. Let's just go back. Okay, so I'll just go to align and indent and then indentation options. And then I'm just gonna go to special indent. And remember I said it's called hanging. So I'm just gonna hit hanging, which is 1/2 inch, so 0.5, and then I'm gonna apply. So this is how it's gonna look. I'm just gonna go over that really quickly for because that was kind of fast. So I just highlighted everything. I'm gonna go to format, align and indent, indentation options. And then I'm gonna do special indent and I'm gonna click on hanging. And automatically it should say 0.5 and then apply. So then once we have that, what we're going to do is go back to our document that we emailed to ourselves. So I'm just gonna go down, and this is the abstract for the article. So what you wanna do is copy the abstract. So I'm just gonna copy that abstract, go back to my document, and paste it. And if you look on the agenda, it says that. So it doesn't say necessarily copy and paste, but it says review the article and abstract you obtained last week through your library search. List each citation in APA style with the abstract beneath it, followed by a 1 to 2 sentences summarizing the article. So what was the article about? So now we did that. We just copied and pasted our abstract for this particular article. So we're going to format it again. Just make sure that it's Times New Roman 12, unbold it. Also, this also has to be indented, just like how we did the annotated bibliography, the citation, I mean. So I'm going to format, align and indentation options, and I'm going to click hanging, apply. Because in the directions it says make sure that all of the, well, I don't even think I'm supposed to change that. So I'm just gonna hit ignore because I hate seeing things underlined because that's their abstract, so it's not mine. Also, if you go back to the agenda, you'll see like it says first line of each paragraph indented a ½ inch. So you have to do this for each of the articles that you're doing, paragraphs, I mean. So then once we do that, we're going to follow the abstract with 1 to 2 sentences summarizing the article. And what we're going to keep in mind is what was the article about. So I'm going to just pretend like I just read this article and I know what it's about. And I'm just going to hit tab and I'm going to type in 1 to 2 sentences about the article. So you're not going to do this. You're actually going to give me 1 to 2 sentences about what the article is about. Just make sure it is indented how it is. So for example, I'm just going to put like, I'm going to put this in parentheses for a second so you know what it is. And then I'm just going to put like this article is about, and then a whole bunch of gibberish. Just give me 1 second. I just want 2 lines. Okay, so yeah. So how it just did that, it actually formatted it for me. So if you take a look, I'm just going to just space them out for a little bit. Okay, so it has the first line there, which is great. So again, like the first line is indented and then the second line is following the previous indentation, which is perfect. So then this right here would be the 1 and 2 sentences about the article. This is my summary. Now what's next? Now, going back to the agenda, we will write a reflective paragraph about what you found interesting about cultural competency in your discipline. And then we're going to use the following questions to prompts to guide your reflection. So we're going to use the following questions to guide our reflection. So what we're going to do is going to focus on the first question. Was this article helpful? What did you learn? How will you apply what you learned from this article to your future profession? What ethical global issues can you identify in healthcare across culture? And then it gives you a couple of examples in the majors. So then we're going to go to 4. How will cultural sensitivity influence your behavior in providing utmost patient care? What would you need to learn to develop cultural competency? So these are the questions that you'll follow right under this right here. So then I'm just going to hit enter. I'm going to put reflection questions 1 to 5. So then this is going to be your reflection questions 1 to 5. Again, remember indenting it on the first line like how we've been doing for the rest of it. So you'll have a total of, so you have the citation above, we'll count that as a paragraph. So we'll have one paragraph, which is the citation, one paragraph again for the abstract that comes with the article, and then one to two sentences about the article that we are writing. So that's 3 already. And then the reflection questions 1 to 5. You can have them in one paragraph or you could split them up. Just don't number them because it is a writing project. So like just write it in paragraph format. So it can be one paragraph altogether because that is your reflection. So it's 4. So in a total, including the citation, you should have 4 indented paragraphs for one of the articles. So then if you do the next article, you will have a total of 8, including the citation and the abstract that comes with the article, if that makes sense. Does anyone have any questions so far?
Need to do for 1 or 2?
You have to do it for both because you remember we were working on getting 2 articles for our bibliography. So it's going to be 2 articles. So I'm going to show you exactly how that looks like. I'm going to do the second article for us right here.
Okay.
So the second article now, we're going to just make sure that, so say that this 1 to 2 sentences about the article was complete and the reflection questions were complete as well. So then now we're going to go back to our email and we're just going to scroll down. I'm using Gmail, so it might be 2 different emails for on your end, but on my end it's in one email, but it's just right on top of each other. And now I'm going to hit the same thing, persistent link to this record. So it's permalink. I'm just going to hit that link and then do the same thing again. I'm going to hit cite. I'm going to look for APA. Now I see Lynn is the author. So I'm just gonna copy and I'm gonna go back to my document. L becomes before W, right? W, X, Y, Z. Yeah. So again, it does have to be in alphabetical order because this is a bibliography. So say that you already did that. In this case, that my my next article actually comes before it in the alphabet. So I'm just going to make sure, and I'm going to just click enter and make sure all of this is onto another page so I don't lose it, right? So it's just at the bottom because it has to be in alphabetical order. So L does come before W, so I'm just going to keep it like that. So then I'm going to do the same thing, format it, Times New Roman 12, and then I'm going to make sure the highlight color is none. And then do the same thing. So then now I'm going to go back to the website where it showed me this is the wrong one. This is it right here. So now I'm going to scroll down and find the abstract. So this is the abstract for this paragraph. I'm just going to copy it and then paste it right under it. So it already formatted for me. That's great. But it just didn't format the font for me. I'm just gonna hit Arial and Times New Roman and 12. And then this is the abstract for that article. And now what follows it is the same thing that we've been doing. So 1 to 2 sentences about the article. And then our reflection following those questions. Reflection, questions 1 to 2. 1 to 5, sorry. So does anyone have any confusion about that?
Wait, for the after you copied and paste the citation, the background is the abstract or?
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it was like that on the website. So you see like the abstract and then it says background. I'm not changing anything because it's not my work. Yeah.
And you don't have to put the copyright part in, like right in
I
there.
mean, it says abstract from author right here, so I didn't want to just include that.
So it's fine if you don't put it in, right?
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, and then following that abstract is just 1 to 2 sentences about the article and then the reflection questions. And then, yep, save file, post it, and then we're done. So now, for a second, we're just gonna stop with this, right? So you'll be able to finish this and come back to the video. I'm just gonna show you how to upload it to ePortfolio and how it should be done, okay? So really quickly, I just want to download these articles.
It's just two. It's two articles, right? Or is it 3?
No, it's 2.
It's 2. Okay.
Yeah. So then I'm just gonna hit PDF full text, and then I'm going to hit download. This little arrow pointing down, it would download it for me. So I'm just gonna hit it on my desktop, and I'm just going to save. Right, so it's here. It just popped up here for me. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the other article as well that I did earlier. So cultural competence, yeah, so this is the second article. I'm just going to open that. And then I'm going to hit PDF full text. This little thing will come up, just hit download and then save. Okay, so now if we go to our ePortfolio, I'm just gonna hit home really quickly and go to our ePortfolio. Okay, so this is your ePortfolio. What you want to do is go to coursework, first year seminar coursework, and you'll see cultural competency bibliography. Now, if you scroll down, you'll see source materials. This is where your articles are going to go, right? So you'll put the first article here and the second article here. If you scroll down, it says completed assignment. This is your annotated bibliography. That's what you're going to upload there. So really quickly, just making sure that you follow the order that you did in your annotated bibliography, because remember, it has to be in alphabetical order by the author's name, not necessarily the title, but the author's name, right? So the first one that I did is going to be a little tough because I saved them both at once. I'm just going to hit the pencil and paper, replace this item, upload file. And then I believe is this one first because this is by the author Lynn, and I'm going to hit upload. So yeah, I was right. So yeah. And now we're going to scroll down and then do the same thing for our second article. Click on the pencil and paper, replace this item, upload file, and then just upload it. I saved it to my desktop, but since it was right here for me, I just dragged it. But you could definitely click onto like the blue paper and look through it for your through your downloads and documents, or however you saved it on your computer. And I just hit upload. So since it like cut off a little bit, I'm just gonna like make it a little bigger. So it'll just come up to this line here. So then it is scrollable, so you can scroll. So this is great. So now we have both of our articles here on our ePortfolio, now our completed assignment. So if I go to my document, or if you're using Microsoft Word, again, I'm going to link the video on how to format your pages and how to do the assignment on the ePortfolio page. But for this purpose, for Google Docs, you're just gonna hit File, Download as a PDF document. Give it a second. Okay, now it downloaded. Now I'm going to go back to my ePortfolio, and underneath completed assignment is only one box here. This is for my annotated bibliography. I'm going to do the same thing. Hit the pencil and paper, replace this item, upload file, and then this is what I was talking about. You could just click this little blue plus sign and then look for it in your files. but since I have it right here, I'm just gonna drag it and then I'm gonna hit upload. Now I'm gonna just make it a little bigger since it did cut off a little bit. And this is my annotated bibliography and it is completed. Okay, just make sure that everything is indented. Make sure, like you see, I have like some spaces going on right here. Just make sure that there is no space, that it's back to back, so it looks more completed. And this is what you're doing. And then you're just gonna make sure that you publish all of your pages. Publish, and then I'm going to publish this page as well for security. And then to make sure that it's there, I'm just going to hit on published view and see how it looks. So I have both my articles here in my published view. Great. I have it's scrollable. Nice. Second one scrollable, it's there. And now my bibliography is here as well too, and it's scrollable. So we're all good, and now your assignment is completed. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to stop the recording from here and answer any questions.